been following you from a long time now. And also, I've been following HeyCoach as well from a long time. I've been there from the day one, and I've been talking about it to people. I've seen people now started talking about it as well. So, I actually came across your journey a little bit fascinating to me, how you actually moved from from Razorpay to Google and things like that. So, why Google first of all? Like, there are many more companies. You were already in a great company, Razorpay, right? So, why exactly Google? What got you there?
Google is, firstly, needless to say, is a dream job for any software engineer out there.
Obviously.
And the way it happens is Google, over the years, we have been following Google. Google has been such a big benchmark in our lives. Use any product, Google search. When you type something on Google search and it doesn't work, your first instinct is my internet is down and not Google search.
Yeah, that's actually correct. Yes.
So that's a high level of benchmark. Like that's the kind of company that people perceive Google to be. Like, Google cannot be down.
Right.
It's my internet provider that is down.
Right.
And look at the suite of products that they've built and the way they integrate with each other, the scale at that they operate in. Maps. Back then, when Maps was built, it was very hard to imagine what Maps would be like. Over the years, it has evolved into such a mature product, and it is being adopted by the world that it's inspirational.
Yes.
Look at Gmail, look at Drive, look at Google Meet. All of the way the entire suite of products integrate with each other. It's just fascinating.
Right.
And Google, for some reason, always had that culture built in me where I had the perception that Google has one of the best cultures ever. And the day I joined there and I started witnessing that culture day in, day out, it was truly fascinating. Right. The best part was that you look forward to going to Google each and every day.
Right.
That is the workplace that anyone would like to be. Okay. I'm sure there are hundreds of companies out there trying to get there, hundreds of companies who have already gotten there, and probably a few which are doing much better than that. But Google is one such big tech giant that I definitely love working for.
One follow-up question on this. Other than work, what was the most best thing that you loved about Google? Other than work, just
I think people who know me well, end to end, including you, know the answer to it already. It's food. Especially the Bangalore office at Google.
Right.
There's a buffet full of delicious food throughout the day, and it's just for a foodie like me. It's all I want.
Okay.
Tech is secondary, scale is secondary, user is secondary. For me, what sells over there is the food.
I can completely agree to that. Being a foodie myself, yes, I can. I would really love to visit Google once in my life, but that's that I'm waiting for as well.
But one thing that I would like to add over here is apart on the culture part of it, something very specific, very unique that I have seen at Google. You can work at Google as a software engineer in, let's say, Maps team, and you can do a 20% project in a different team. For example, I could be fascinated by, let's say, how Google Meet works, or how Google Classroom works, education is part of it, right? Or how Gmail works. And I could actually approach the team over there and do a 20% project over there. So I can spend 80% of my time doing my primary role and 20% of my time working on something else that interests me.
Right.
And because Google is such a huge company and it has so many projects, so many opportunities, there will always be more than so many things that it will excite you and you would want to work on.
Right. Now,
that is the primary reason why people don't quit Google.
Right. That's actually correct. Even I have seen, if we talk about in terms of retention, actually, Google is the highest right now in the market.
Yes.
I mean, the retention numbers are very high. They do not actually let anyone go, as in they do not stop anyone, but their retention as in terms of the culture, in terms of the work ethics, it's very high. The policy wise also, I mean, there was a policy, I remember when Sundar Pichai actually joined Google. Just after a few months itself, there was some kind of protest in between the employees, and Sundar Pichai actually joined them in the protest. So the culture is really good.
Yes.
If CEO is itself protesting in for some of the policies, that's something really amazing that you've not seen in any other companies. Coming to one more point from there, Google is all about tech, big techs, and companies like this. So how was your motivation? How was your journey? Like, how did you really plan it out? Going from Razorpay to Google and from your past companies as well. How do you really plan it out to actually go there? In tech terms, if we talk about.
So now that I look back, it may look like a very biased story, but back then I did not have any motivation to join a company like Google, and I think this goes the same for any person working in tier 2, tier 3 college. While I was fortunate enough to graduate from VIT University, which is one of the best private universities in India.
Right.
But still, I did not have the exposure to companies like Google, Facebook, Amazon. Amazon used to recruit a few people from my college. Google, Facebook, these companies never came in. Okay. So naturally, I never had people in my network who had joined these companies, and which is why, for me, these companies were like unreachable.
Yes.
I never saw people going there. I never saw people of my level reach companies like Google. So by default, Google, I can't do it. It's out of my reach.
Right.
Oh, that person is working in Google. That person must be amazing. That was my mindset, right? And you need to be super smart. You need to be from the top IITs. You need to already have been done amazing things in your life to get into companies.
Yeah, that's the general mindset.
But then slowly, eventually, when I started working at different companies, I worked at Amagi Media Labs. I slowly got exposure to the industry. I moved on to joining Razorpay. At Razorpay, I worked on scale. I worked on scalable products. That's when slowly I started seeing, the network that I was with started changing. The set of people I was hanging out with started changing. Right. Slowly, I was able to see people in my second connects, first connects, started getting into companies like Google, Facebook, Amazon. Right? That's when the trigger comes in that, okay, now, why can't I?
Yes.
Or at least let me give it a shot. Completely clueless, struggling to, find a good job because Razorpay had amazing salaries. But then if you want to move out of Razorpay and want to think of something bigger, better, it's hard because Razorpay is already doing so well.
Yes.
So clueless, I start the typical journey of going online, figuring out things. Wasted a lot of weeks, lot of months into it. Close to 10 to 12 months. Just got passed into this journey of figuring out what needs to be done. And eventually, I ended up getting better at different parts of the programming aspects, different parts of the software engineering domain, handling building systems at scale, solving problems in a very much efficient way, optimized code, writing optimized code for a lot of solutions, or a lot of complex problems. Things that I could not imagine myself doing, let's say 6 months before that.
Yes.
So it was a journey. It took a very long time. I had to reiterate back into, I failed, I reiterated back, I wasted the time. I failed, I reiterated back, wasted the time. Even if a trigger point over there could have been wrong, I might not have landed into a company. So overall the journey was, I learned a lot in this journey. I learned a lot of things. I failed a lot of times in this journey. Identified, interviewed with so many companies, interviewed with Facebook, Razorpay was already there, Amazon, Microsoft, LinkedIn, Flipkart. I learned a lot from these interviews. And when I started learning things, okay, every time I fail, I go back and question, okay, why was I not able to solve?
Right.
Is it too complex? I have not even heard of this term. For example, when I was interviewing with Flipkart, I came across this term. I was sitting in an interview and the person asked me that, how do you solve this? And I had no idea. Okay. And the person, in the end, of course, I got rejected over there. And the person told me that, I asked, do you mind sharing me the answer? I'll which ways go and look it up, but if you can just give me a quick hint. So he told that you have to use something called heaps over here. And heaps being such a common data structure, yet I had no idea what heaps is. So, not going into the technicalities more, the journey taught me a lot of things that I did not have exposure to initially. Had there been a guiding hand somewhere, I would have just saved a lot of time and focused on the right set of things.
Right.
So, that was the journey.
Okay, there have been, I've read a lot about your LinkedIn profile, even like I told you, I've been following you. I actually came across one of the posts from one of your ex-managers, Google. He wrote that you are more about a social person. You tend to carry everyone with you in a time in the growth path. Okay, even when you were in startup accelerator program in Google, that time also it was really easy for you to achieve goals because you were the person who will take every stakeholder with you and to work towards a common goal. So that has been something very very good written by someone at Google. I've been amazed about it. And on that note, one thing there would have been some challenges, right? That throughout the journey to getting to Google, even in Google, you would have faced some challenges, right? Coming from a complete different background. I mean, different background as in from what we expect. Google, mein to bahut achhe. You will have very good engineers there. You will have. We are not that at that level. Like considering me, I'm from a very small university. I would never have thought to work in a product-based company in my life. But I'm working now, and it's been good. So the fact is that coming from that background, what kind of challenges you have faced in your journey, and what do you think that could actually help us or engineers like me?
Great. So I think what you're referring to is one of the notes
recommendation that you have got.
Saha.
Yes,
he was
that's correct.
My manager at Google. He was also my skip level manager later on. So Indradeep is a long-term Googler. He has worked with Google for over 13 years now, 13 to 14 years. So he was one of the first few employees at Google background.
Okay.
So Indradeep's team, we were working in the Google search team. We were building end-to-end tools to improve the reliability of Google search. So when you search something and the results should show up, Google search should not go down. When you're building a new feature on Google search, let's say you're adding support for weather, or you are adding support for, let's say, coronavirus. Right? When you search coronavirus, a red UI comes up. There are different tabs, different results, statistics pulled out.
Right.
So these are new features that the entire search team is working day and night on.
Right.
Now, while they build these features, even a small bit of change should not reach a stage where the Google search is going down because of one page.
Right.
So we were working on improving the reliability of Google search.
Right.
Overall, it has been a fascinating journey, but also, needless to say, very challenging. But it is a learning curve that comes in with every company. And Google is no different. So, for instance, when I joined Google, I had to start again from scratch. Right. My knowledge of GitHub, it's a primary tool, it's a primary version control tool. But then my knowledge of GitHub was not something that I can directly implement at Google or use at Google.
Right.
Because Google has its own version control system of it.
Right.
So what happens is you start learning things from scratch, but because you are good at software development, because your fundamentals are good, because you know how to navigate through the entire complex problem, break it down into pieces, execute it step by step, you end up performing well once you have mastered the land over.
Right.
And it takes a few months to master the land. It takes 3 to 4 months for you to settle down at Google, but that is true for any other company.
That's correct.
So yes, challenges are there. There are enough people to help you out with it, because if you look at it right, there's something called imposter syndrome, where you feel that I'm an imposter here, people will catch me. And this is a common mentality for someone who enters Google, right? And because naturally over the years Google's hiring bar has been so high that the new joinee who joins in feels that they're the dumbest person in that room.
Right.
Because of which they don't ask questions, because of which they feel that I don't belong here and I'll be kicked out the moment they find out that I don't have the skills.
Right.
Which is so wrong. So internally at Google they have something called the imposter syndrome, that this is a common thing, you'll feel something like this, but don't worry about it. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Ask, because no question is a dumb question if you ask.
Yeah.
So that is the thing, the culture, the managers, the entire team, it is so good, right? Even if you get one night email, right? Let's say your shift ends at around 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the evening. If you have one chat ping coming in at 8 o'clock, the first message will be, hey, I'm sorry to ping you at this hour. I need you to do this, and this is kind of priority, which is why I'm pinging you at this hour.
Okay.
If you get into a meeting, the first thing is, hey, thank you so much for taking out the time to extend your day and take out some time during your non-working hours to meet with us, especially when you talk to people in the US time zone. Meetings happen at, let's say, 10 p.m. or 9 p.m.
basically,
So that's the culture. People understand, people respect each other, and they help you grow. If you come back and you ever go back to your manager and tell them that, hey, listen, my mental stress has increased a lot. Like in most companies, that is not something people value, talk about value. At Google, it's a different scenario. Your workload will be decreased. You'll be given smoother things. There'll be helping hands. There'll be people you can talk to.
Yes.
Right? They'll just come and listen to you. It's not like, okay, I'll give you suggestions, No, I'll just listen. And that activity itself helps a lot. And outside the Google world, nobody talks about it because it's a different world altogether.
This is actually something fascinating. Even I remember working in a US shift for an XYZ company, and I remember when we had to do shifts. So after the shift, we used to get messages from our company regarding some client escalation. Something used to happen, but the meeting never used to start the way that you told me. It was always that you have to do this. This is a priority, and we can't help it. We have to do it. Otherwise, it used to come on our performance. Coming to the last part there, I know we are time bounded, so I'll just wrap it up fast. So the thing is that you talked about the culture in Google or companies like this, right? And it's really good to hear about it because now I learned that there are many things outside of work that can happen in a work environment as well. But how do you really plan to get people? Like HeyCoach is something that you have started, and I really see the potential there. I have been following you guys. I am also getting in, so I understand how do we plan. But the thing is, how do you really see somebody becoming a perfect fit for companies like this? Somebody becoming actually, because see, technology, okay, one knows that they require technology. One knows that they want to build a profile at that scale, right? But just getting that technology or just getting that, everybody will say that I can get that over internet, or I can get this, I can get the knowledge over from somewhere and I can improve it, right? But what is that last pain point that it takes, or what is that point that it takes to actually get you there? Because then these companies' interviews are also at that level,
Right. So it is very important to actually understand what goes behind the process, because it's not like I can explain you the entire concept. Let's say you talk about any technical concept, right? A million people are opening Book My Show, and Book My Show is not able to, let's say, handle the request, handle the volume, okay? And Book My Show goes down. Now, what is required to keep that reliability high? How do you ensure that Book My Show does not go down? First thing. Okay? Now, it may look like a very simple problem, but it's really not.
Right.
The set of resources that you need to learn, the set of concepts that you need to learn, the set of discussions that happen, the set of mentorship that goes behind understanding, a lot of it comes directly from experience.
Right.
And if someone is experienced who is helping you out with this journey, that is one of the best things that can happen.
Right.
Now, coming to the content that is available over the internet, yes, there are multiple things that are available over the internet, and it's not difficult to learn a few concepts in this journey, right? But then it does not end with the concepts itself, and the course is not a replacement to those efforts.
Right.
It is not like, okay, if I join HeyCoach, I will not have to study on my own. I will not have to go through YouTube, go through videos. No, it's not about replacing your efforts and replacing it with HeyCoach learning. No, all of those things still need to be there. I can give you, and this is something I tell our learners as well. Let's say you want to go move from Chennai to Bangalore. Right? You can have different modes of transport, right? You can come in a car, you can come in a plane, you can come on a bicycle. You can understand the route through different technology. I can give you a metaverse and tell you that this is how the entire journey will look like. But if you don't move out of your house, if you don't step out,
it will not start.
You will not reach Bangalore.
Yes.
So it all boils down to efforts at your end. Now, while you're putting in those efforts, how do you maximize success? How do you maximize that you are on the right track?
Okay.
There are ample number of channels, ample number of YouTube videos that talk about this. How do you ensure that you are still getting the right direction? You are still having a platform which is personalized just to you and is able to help you out on your weaknesses. Because it's not one-way knowledge that you need to consume. Someone needs to be there to evaluate you. Someone needs to understand your pain points from and evaluate you against the benchmark that the industry has set. For example, Google, Facebook, Amazon. Sorry. So that two-way communication is what gets missed out on online resources.
Right.
And the one-way communication is not effective. Right. Now, if you look at the entire learning at HeyCoach, we are talking about end-to-end mentorship sessions. We are talking about end-to-end learning journey. There are tools that we have built to ensure that you get the best quality coaching.
Right.
Problem solving. Problem solving is one of the most important problems at Google. So the way problem solving works, given a problem, how do you think about it?
Right.
Most of the times people are clueless. Okay, I understood the problem. I know what needs to be done, but how do I approach it?
It's all about the approach at the end of the day, right? Yeah.
There's no approach. So we've built tools over that. We've built mind map just to help you understand the clusters of problems that are there out there. If you solve 3 problems that are similar, 4 problems that are similar, a fifth problem if I give you, you're more likely to be able to solve it if you realize that it falls under the same cluster.
Same cluster, yeah.
Mind map, the tool that we have built, it's a premium tool. It's based on this itself.
Yeah.
So the end-to-end learning journey is catered towards helping you maximize success,
Right.
maximize your chances of getting into these top 10.
Right.
That is what creates a difference. And that is why learners are able to get these high results that we talk about.
Okay. So thank you very much for this.
Thank you,
Pratik.
Siddharth. Thank you so much for your time.
It was really great talking to you. I mean, we don't get to catch a lot, but still, it was really great and hope to see you soon again.
Absolutely, likewise. Thank you so much for it.